What's up, guys? This is Alex Barutha from RotoWire here with Nick Whalen. And today we're going to be talking about category specialists in fantasy basketball. Nick, let's kick it off right at the top with points. Who are the guys you're looking towards if you just need pure points in your fantasy draft?
Yeah, I mean, there are very few players who, are going to give you like 30 points per game and nothing else. In fact, I don't think there's anyone. If you're looking at kind of the elite tier, I mean, Bradley Beal is certainly someone to target if you need to shore up that points category. 30 plus points per game in each of the last two seasons. You now remove Russell Westbrook from the equation. This is a team that maybe got a little bit deeper overall than it's been in the last couple of years, but Bradley Beal is still the unquestioned number one guy in Washington. He's the heavy favorite to lead the league in scoring. He was finished second last year, just behind Steph Curry. I think it would be a surprise at this point if Brad Beal doesn't approach or even exceed 30 points per game for the third straight season.
Yeah, he's averaged 31 points per game over the past 2 years. There's some other guys too, who I like for scoring. Donovan Mitchell has increased his scoring every season. He's averaged 34 points per game in his past 17 playoff games. I don't know exactly how that translates, in the regular season with kind of a egalitarian offense in Utah. I also like Colin Sexton a lot this season. Last year, 24 points a game on great shooting splits, increases free throws to 6.4 per game last year. And, that Cleveland offense, as much as they've added some other guys like Markkanen, Mobley, I just expect him to continue to kind of be the guy that they turn to.
If you want to look at a rookie who's going to help a lot in scoring, I think it's Jalen Green. We got a small taste of what he looks like in summer league. Then he got hurt and missed their last couple of games, but he's aggressive. He could score from all areas. He's going to contribute in threes as well. Probably not a guy who's going to be a great rebounder, a great assist producer right away. We're not really sure what to expect from him defensively. But talk about a guy to target with one of your final picks. Somebody who can just shore up that scoring column and provide you with a lot of upside.
When you're looking for rebounds in fantasy, which is usually the case after the second, maybe even third round, what kind of guys are you looking towards? I mean, you have obviously the league leaders in Capella and Gobert, but even farther down the list, there are plenty of guys who can get you close to double-digit boards, if not double-digit boards.
Right. You mentioned it with Capella and Gobert. Those are the two guys, and they each have similar weaknesses. They're going to give you a ton of rebounds. They're going to block shots, but they're not going to help you whatsoever in the free throw percentage category. So it is a give and take with guys like that. Even Andre Drummond, he slides into that Dwight Howard, Joel Embiid backup role in Philadelphia, but I don't think we can completely write him off from a fantasy perspective. I think he kind of reminds me of like where Hassan Whiteside has been these last couple of years, where you're just not really sure what you're going to get, but all of a sudden Embiid misses 10 games and Andre Drummond is kind of back to where he was when he was a member of the Pistons. And I think Enes Kanter, now back in Boston, also in that same category, a guy who's always at the top of the league in terms of rebounds per minute. He could play 15 minutes off the bench and give you 12 points and 11 rebounds. So in terms of guys to look at later in drafts, Kanter, Drummond are two names that come to mind for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, two other guys I want to highlight. The first guy, his fantasy stock, I think, has fallen off quite a bit over the last couple of years, and really his real life stock as well. But Steven Adams, now in Memphis, not going to help you a whole lot in other categories. Since leaving OKC, his scoring has declined. His free throw shooting has always been an issue. But if you just need rebounds, Steven Adams is someone to target. And we've talked a lot about big men so far, but the best wing rebounder in the league per minute, Josh Hart, always finds a way to get rebounds, despite being 6'5", 6'6". He has a ton of big time rebounding games. We're not really sure what his role is going to be in New Orleans, but that's a team that doesn't have a ton of wing depth. They do have the rookie Trey Murphy, who's looked good so far, but I think Josh Hart ends up playing a lot of minutes, ends up grabbing a ton of boards. And then there are some other obvious guards, Russell Westbrook, DeJounte Murray, guys who rebound at a really high rate.
When you're looking for guys with high assist upside in your fantasy drafts, who are you turning to?
There are names, of course, at the top. A lot of the elite guards in fantasy basketball, Steph Curry, Trae Young, James Harden, those guys are piling up assists left and right. And those are some of the obvious ones. There's not a ton of players in the league right now who, don't contribute a ton in other categories, but are super high assist players. Ricky Rubio, I think, met that criteria in the past. Draymond Green, certainly a player with a unique stat profile, someone who bounced back in a big way last year. It was kind of a disastrous 2019-20 in a number of ways for the Warriors, and we weren't really sure what to do with Draymond Green. But he showed, like, when Steph Curry is healthy, when Draymond Green is in shape and engaged, he can still be a super unique player who hands out a ton of assists, out of position.
Yeah, Draymond with a career high 8.9 assists per game last year. You guys like Rubio, I mean, you're just hoping for like 6 assists out of those guys. Lonzo Ball in a new environment in Chicago with scorers around him, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, all those guys can score the ball. So maybe it turns into Lonzo's job just to feed those guys. Pretty much everybody else higher on the list is doing so many other things well. They're not just pure assist targets. Like we're talking about LaMelo Ball, CP3, Trae Young, James Harden, guys like that.
Right. And it's the same argument that we made, at the top with the point scores, where if you're playing enough to average 7 or 8 assists per game, you're going to be doing other things. So assists are a tough category, to find on the waiver wire. That's for sure.
Try RotoWire today, free for 10 days. Get our premium tools, rankings, analysis, and breaking news alerts. No credit card required. Go to rotowire.com/try.